So a while ago, I made a video talking about some of the biggest furry movies of 2022. Well, now that the year is over, I feel like there's been a lot more furry movies that have just popped up as the year just ended, and I want to discuss the rest of them in this video. Today we'll be checking out another 4 movies that happen to have anthropomorphic characters in them, starting with the biggest one. Obviously, everyone has talked about this movie. Everyone has praised this movie to death. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. All I gotta say is that I'm gonna just continue on adding to the praise that this movie has already received. So yeah, and it's been a couple months since I've also watched this, so I had to go watch it again to see that if it truly holds up, since a lot of people consider this movie to be absolutely amazing. And honestly, I still believe that this movie is absolutely amazing. And I also noticed that this movie has been praised to a certain point where cynics of the hellscape known as Twitter decided to start shunning people who found elements of the movie that they like, because the internet loves unnecessary discourse. They'll do anything to cause chaos for no fucking reason. But yeah, anyways, the main problem that people were focusing on was the fact that there was this scene where Puss in Boots had an anxiety attack. And yes, it's not the absolute best way to show a panic attack, but considering that it's a children's movie, I would say that they depicted it in a pretty great way, with it being realistic and subtle in a way. I just feel like that's just one of the many things that I particularly enjoyed about this movie, and just how much passion really went into the making of it. I mean, the animation, the clever writing, and the creative world building all really make this movie out to be truly something special. It's just truly endearing and charming in every single way from beginning to end, especially with its pacing, just being absolutely perfect. The fight scenes go incredibly hard and remind me of the comic style animation that went into the Spider-Verse movie. The characters are all so fun to watch, especially with their dynamics and interactions with each other. Jack Horner is just such a fun villain who's just plain evil because of this entitlement, being played by an actual evil man who's also entitled. The irony there just fits so well. They also made the annoying side character trope work so well. This dog has these empathetic qualities that make you really want to root for him. He's actually impossible to hate, and if you hate him, I hate you. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Anyways, the main villain, who the furries simp for, is a badass baddie bitch. I love him. I love him so much. The way he takes apart Puss in Boots' character and just forces him to evolve as a character was just so cool and hot. I mean, that's good writing. This movie has good writing. Yep, that's what I meant to say. Anyways, the animation in this character is always creative and unsettling in the best way. Puss in Boots is just such a great character in this one, specifically because of how introspective his journey ended up becoming. This movie's humor works so well for me, with it having that Shrek tone, if you know what I mean. There are moments that also had me genuinely surprised with how mature it felt. There are these violent moments in this movie that just surprised the fuck out of me, and I honestly wish they went a bit further with it. Overall, if you hadn't seen this movie yet, it's absolutely worth the hype, as it's genuinely one of the most fun and endearing watches that I've had last year. The next movie that we'll be talking about is House. This one is stop animation, which is fucking cool. I love that. Yes, it's also anthology. Let's go. I love anthology movies. You can find this one on Netflix, and it has 3 different short films to it. One of these short stories is not furry, so let me go ahead and quickly get through that. So this short gave me Vivish vibes in terms of how it built up its unsettling vibes with the setting and the period of time. I do wish it was its own movie because of how much it rushes its own mystery. Those things kind of just happen, and it's disturbing, but there's really not much that goes on with the creepiness in the first place. It feels like a style over substance, but that style acting it has way more substance than it really has. I think my problem is that we do not spend enough time with our main characters to see them develop. To be fair, it is a short, so it's not like we have that time, But it's also a shame that we don't see the subtle development of the craziness and instead jump into it, making it redundant by the fifth spooky thing that shows up. It's definitely not bad, and also has the ability to create such a terrifying atmosphere, with just the animation alone and the puppet designs also being creepy as fuck, giving me Coraline feels at time, especially with how abstract the horror movie became. It's like a grim fairy tale about capitalism, but there's no furries, so it sucks. Second one was about this rat. But yeah, let me guess. Is this short going to be about a rat race and its effects on one's life and mental health? Actually, surprisingly, it's not. I mean, it kind of is. It's really hard to explain. I don't want to spoil it, but basically the ending was very open-ended in terms of how many interpretations you could come up with. I've also absolutely loved the rat design. It's so adorable. And hearing him flirt with his wife with this just deep voice, and then he afterwards ate a candy bar like a rat in the same sentence, just altered my brain chemistry. This middle-aged rat man is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Uh-huh! It's giving Bandit from Bluey, except a lot more disturbing and depressing. Shit was like funny, but like in that awkward way that like the thing that Atlanta does, where it's just so fucking dark and surreal that like it makes you laugh out of pain. It's one of those really bizarre and terrifying ones that really like ruin you. And it's like the only thing you really do is just laugh. So, yeah. The lead up to the ending was also absolutely perfect. And it's one of those shorts that really shifts your perspective to a point where you have to watch it a second time, because watching it that second time would be a completely different experience from the first time. And also, capitalism ruins people. Anyways, the third and last one was absolutely stunning in its visuals. I don't think there's particularly too much to say about this one, but I absolutely love the uniqueness of like the animation. It truly hits the hardest in this short, especially with the anthro designs. I absolutely love the characters and how unconventional the personalities are, creating this clash with each other that makes it so interesting to watch. I feel like the movie perfectly encapsulates the appreciation of what you have now before it's too late motif in such an honest and creative way. The world building also has this sense of intrigue that they never really explore, but it is used in a way to help the story rather than limit it. Even with this one being the most lighthearted out of all the shorts, it has its dark moments regarding themes of loneliness and the dread that comes awaiting that. So yeah, overall, the overarching themes of the shorts and that you have to achieve like this healthy balance in life before it consumes you. I feel like it does a great job at juggling this. Although it is on the nose, all the stories are interesting enough for it to get away with, except for the first one. Like I said, the first one was just so bad, but the other one, the other two are pretty good. Yeah. So keep in mind, I wrote this before Zootopia 2 came out. Okay, yeah, this video was supposed to come out a long time ago, as you can tell. Anyways, well, this was disappointing. I guess I enjoyed how they connected all the shorts to the movie, but like that's really all it has. It's legit nostalgia bait for a movie I don't even think anyone feels nostalgic for. Like, why do these exist except to capitalize off of the success of a movie that came out 7 years ago? Me watching these shorts and just thinking to myself, why? Yeah, sure, it has its cute moments and it's heartwarming at points, but like, do we really need these small scenes from the movie fleshed out in the way they do it? I mean, I've always enjoyed the world building from this movie. I mean, that was always the best part about it. And I honestly was pretty excited to see these shorts fully flesh it out. But they didn't really do that as much as I would have wanted them to. Some of the shorts actually do go far and wide to give more context to the movie and to show off the world around, while others kind of just exist and do really nothing for me. I honestly have no problem with any of these shorts. And actually, I enjoy it more than I'm making it out to be, if I'm being honest. But I'm just genuinely confused on what this is. Some of the shorts are actually like genuinely interesting and they bring new aspects of the movie that like it wouldn't have had beforehand. And there are others that like kind of just suck or I could consider to be comfort food. And I still absolutely think that it's more arbitrary than anything. But I guess it's important to give Disney Plus more content. And it's like in the script I wrote, are we even getting a sequel at this point? I guess it makes sense to give Disney Plus more content, but like, are we ever going to get a sequel? Because if that's the case, why is this a thing? You know? Okay, so realizing that this was written before Zootopia 2 was announced, which is a bit awkward, my point still stands, as these shorts are just padding to build up excitement for a sequel that was a long time coming in the first place. So, last but not least, well, actually it is least, DC League of Super Pets. Yeah, no, this movie sure did exist. I honestly didn't want to talk about this movie because it's not made for me. It really isn't. I didn't really have a choice though. And The Rock was wearing a fursuit, and that was like one of the more iconic things that he did that year, between that and ruining the DCEU. But like, I feel like this kind of proves that he, has an ego, considering it feels like a vanity project. He plays like three different characters by the end of the movie. Like I said, it really showcases that ego that some people claim that he has. The movie itself is just another decent kids movie, I guess. Kind of the same exact thoughts that I had with the first Sing movie, except this one is a superhero movie that, instead of like an America's Got Talent movie. It also just sucks, but I can see why people would enjoy this one. There are good elements, like the character dynamics. They're surprisingly good. I mean, The Rock and Kevin Hart interacting with each other for the millionth time actually was not as annoying as it could have been, so I guess props to them. Also, the movie is great when it focuses on the character arcs and everyone's personalities separately. There are any moments of that I actually enjoyed the movie. But like, any chance of me being warm to this movie was completely snuffed out with the multitude of this movie not giving a fuck with its writing. My major problem with this movie is how much the humor falls flat in this one, especially with how much it takes over the movie. No matter how serious a scene may be, they will be sure to add a referential joke about pop culture, or a joke about how they're pets and they're not acting like pets. Whoa! I'm like fine with the animal being animal jokes, to be honest, because like, I mean, what else is the movie gonna joke about? But the Deadpool type humor gets tired so fast, considering how many times they will make the same joke. Like, haha, the turtle cusses because it's turtles don't cuss. That's crazy. Like, I have my limits, I legit have limits when it comes to this shit. No. The story itself is not anything special or anything to write home about, and I also think it's weird how they just hire some famous people who end up being in this movie for like 3 minutes before being booted out because the story allows no room for them whatsoever. Like, no care for the world building, which really gives off in the movie, and I can't really enjoy it if the movie doesn't enjoy itself. The animation is like the only interesting thing about this movie, and even that's not really used to its full potential, and there are moments where it just feels weak. Overall, yeah, I guess a kid could enjoy this because, boo, explosions and shit. But like, legitimately, they did not give a fuck when making this movie. There's absolutely no effort. At all. Holy shit. And honestly, that is it. That was the rest of the movies of 2022. And okay, now that I'm done with the video, time to give a little bit of an update on where I've been this past couple of months. I've once again been planning on making some large videos in the future. Like I said, I just don't have any time because college has really been on my ass recently, and I just legit have been pouring all my time into school and work, and I just haven't really had time to really work on anything that I've actually wanted to work on, which is a shame. But I once again will keep making these quick little videos regarding my opinions on movies, which is something I've always wanted to do. And yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I got. In terms of the future, I'm very excited for like there's certain videos that I want to make, and I want this year to be very special because of the amount of things I want to try. And that's all I really have to say. Just be prepared. This year is gonna be wild, and even though I might have missed out on the first 2 months, doesn't mean I'm stopping. Okay, bye.